You're welcome to the Wi-Fi lunchtime service. Wherever you are watching us from, whether it is YouTube or Zoom or even Facebook, we encourage you to stay and grow with us. Wi-Fi serves to reveal our divine identity, advocate Christ's culture, and equip humanity for the relevant engagements in life and ministry in an atmosphere of unconditional love, trust, faith, and spiritual power. Our mission is to influence the mindsets, change through the revelation of humanity's oneness, with the divine and equip individuals with the truth of who they are, and to the intent of having us firmly grounded to also empower others to be impactful in everyday life. Here, our core values are unconditional love, uplifting spirit, integrity, selflessness, trustworthiness, and tenacious devotion. We believe that all of life begins and ends within the triune Godhead, and all of humanity is spiritually included in the love and life of the divine. We believe that this influences relationships timelessly sustained and guaranteed by the nature of the Father who fills all things. We equally believe in the urgency to make mankind aware of the good news of their redemption from an inferior expression of life into the most attractive and abundant life possible.
How you doing?
Thanks, and the lining are very clear. Yeah, he's done, I think.
Oh, he just dropped. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. That's okay.
All right. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
We thank God for another beautiful Sunday. I would appreciate and love it if I see us of Mommy's face. Us of Mommy, please come online quickly.
Online.
If I see your face, I know I won't see your face. I know I'm just hitting the rock, but I'll try my best anyway. If Sika can show her face as well, Joshua yours as well, so that we can have the party together. God bless you so much, Joshua, for the beautiful intro. I said to Papa. Now I've just said to myself, anytime you're online, I'll acknowledge him as Papa, whether he likes it or yes. I know he don't like it, but I'll say it anyway. Yes, what I say is my business. I'll just suggesting to Papa that you do give us the vision, the mission every Sunday, whether I'm on or not, before we start the main service. It's beautiful. It's always good to remind ourselves of what we stand for, and also for anyone joining us the first time to know what we are on about. It's a church, but obviously you'll know that it's not a church as many know it. And so it's always good that we put it out there for those who come in the first time to know what we are here for. Indeed, I love every bit of what you said. The announcement of the gospel of our redemption from an inferior expression of life into an abundant and a glorious life possible. Beautiful. I don't know where we got the inspiration to write this statement from. I know it's everything that you stand for and everything that the church stands for. But you put it so well that anytime I hear it, something does my spirit. And I think I've shared this before. Exactly happened to me yesterday when we went out with Lucas when he was looking in the mirror. That guy loves mirror. He loves shadows. You know how he is. Anytime he sees shadows, he waves himself. He stands in front of a mirror and then he dances. He laughs. And he's fascinated by the images. He's looking at himself misbehaving. He's just happy. It makes him happy. He just sped off somewhere. Went to stand in front of one of the shows with the mirrors and he was looking at himself. And I went there and I was looking in the mirror. And I could also see myself. I said the other time that I was seeing myself in the mirror, but to me, I understand what was happening because if I look in the mirror, I should have a reflection of myself. To him, he was seeing a reflection of himself, but he did not understand what was happening. And I think that is what that phrase or that statement means. From an inferior expression of life, he is seeing himself, but he doesn't know what it means. Like many of us, many believers, quote unquote, we love God. We want to do things for God. I'm using all those phrases that have been used over the years. We want to worship God. We want to serve God. We want to enjoy the benefit of going to church. But one thing that we have not come to terms with is the fact that we can be going, we can be doing all those things, but expressing life in an inferior way. And as I was looking at him yesterday, something just dropped in my spirit. I was thinking about this verse. Genesis chapter 1:28, Psalm 27, Bible says when God made man in his own image, in the image of God, created he him, male for me, created he them. And God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, subdue. Thinking about this yesterday. And I just said to myself, smiling, it almost looked like the part of the world that I come from. The command of God to multiply, be fruitful, and subdue. We subjected it only to giving birth. So we're just having sex and then we are giving birth and we think that we are fulfilling scripture. Whilst people are having glorious and more abundant life, going to the moon to mine helium-3, which the earth needs, but we are limited of. People have come together, scientists have come together to realize that the earth needs helium-3. And there's only a small number that we have, or small amount that we have in Canada somewhere. And the only way to make more is to do nuclear weapons, which is not good. But they can go to the moon and then mine it and bring it to us. And we are mostly we sat in buildings and we are claiming that. Anyway, I'm not doing religious politics here. I'm only just adding a point to the statement of coming from an inferior expression of life into a glorious and abundant life possible. For us to know that be fruitful, multiply, subdue, it's not pertaining to Yahweh.
It's easier to move Sempa Nanya than go to the moon and bring helium.
But even if you cannot give birth, you can still fulfill scripture by living an abundant life. The full expression of life is living a limitless, exhausting every possibility there is. People are doing it, Rev. If you look at, if you hear some of the things that people are doing, my ex-boss done, we can be sitting there, he'll come and say, the two of us, why don't we have the same brains as people making money? While we are sat here at night working for somebody, people are there cracking, they're making money. People are living or expressing life in abundance, limitless life, exhausting all the possibilities. That is what I believe the command was. Be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth. Let us not limit it to childbirth. Let us not limit it to Yahweh. Let us explore. There is a life. I do say this, Rev. There is a life that we are yet to see. We are yet to experience. When I hear people talking about, oh, if you see where we and this is happening, it's a sign of this, I laugh. I've said this time and again that a time is coming. People will build a house that is hanging. You see how planes are flying without any people. When I was young, I used to think that there was roads in the sky. They've constructed roads in the sky because I couldn't imagine where I come from. We are not used to science early, so I couldn't imagine plane or something in a form of car flying. So I always thought that a kind of that sort of so the planes were driving on those roads. Very soon you will see buildings hanging in the air. Maybe it will not be in our time, but very soon the world will see things that they did not imagine to see, because God is infinite and so is you. And that is the gospel. Bringing you from a point of limitation, bringing you from a point of cannot do attitude, bringing you from a point of it is not possible to a place where you begin to realize your potentialities. I thank God for the life of Joshua, for the life of Samuel, Arrow, and those boys who are coming to take over from us.
Did I tell you I'm going somewhere?
Sorry?
Did I tell you I'm going somewhere?
You will die, Master, you will die. I also die. So, mommy, we will go.
He's immortal.
I will go. Be fruitful, multiply, subdue. This is it also. That we want the younger generation taking over from us with understanding of what they are doing. I get so excited when I hear Joshua speak, when I hear someone speak. I feel blessed. Not that they are in my time, I feel blessed to be in their time. I believe that this house, we are blessed. And we are living life to the fullest. God has been extremely good unto us. And I'm saying this because he's always good. He cannot do any other way, cannot do it any other way than to be good. But I'm saying this because I remember when we started Rev, how far the Lord has brought us, the men who have joined the family, close, some are near, some are far, some are distant family members, some are close family members, some were friends, some were not friends. I also remember the many that we have lost, the many relationships that have departed us because of the trend that we are going or the road that we are on. But it's also good. It's a meaningful relationship. Last week, one thing that I did, I was listening, I heard you say that. And I was just saying to myself, wow. And sometimes we want to think that meaningful relationship is when you are in good terms with the person. Oh, this person is my best friend, so I'm enjoying the relationship. No, somebody can come into your life for a short period, but will make a massive impact. That is a meaningful relationship. But thank God, for some strange, I always thank God for those who have departed from us or who have departed us because of the road that we are on. It's even good because they'll be on a different, there'll be many roads to the same thing. When we get there, the Father will correct us. But I thank God for where we are, where we started from, where we are, and how far He's taking us. For the wisdom and understanding, for the expression of life, of light, of love. We thank God for the life of Papa, Mama, and myself. He said, you are Mama. We are grateful for today and the next couple of weeks, the principle of well-being. Wish above all that you will prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers. In the course of the week, you put something there and you said, if you think this is not the gospel, think twice. We have always thought that the gospel is just sitting there and reading the Bible, and quoting Isaiah and co. But even when you go on jogging, you do exercise, go to the gym, it's part of the gospel. We thank God for the invasion of truth this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you are. Like I always quote, the entrance of his word brings light. It's my desire, it's my prayer that even as we start this session, chains will be broken, confusions will be set straight. We will live here with clarity, we will live here with understanding. We will live here with a changed life. We'll come back next Sunday and give a testimony to today's session. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Ooh. Thank you, Brother K. Just, I'm grateful. Very grateful. In the last few weeks, in the last 3 weeks, we have been looking at the principle of well-being from a book, a study book, The Way Forward. Feedback has been immense. I'm not sure if anyone has anything to share from, or if you have any takeaways from last week. Takeaway, I don't mean check, yeah. Failing that, we go into today's. Have you got anything from last week? What was your main takeaway from last week? That is, if you remember at all.
I don't know why I just go blank. But when one word comes in, then I remember everything.
No good to go blank.
Yeah, I wasn't here last week, so.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse. That's the reason why the links are there. So you ought to have listened. Anyway, so we have been looking at the principle of well-being. And I ended off by saying that we cannot live without interpretations. We can't live without expectations. All of life is perspective and subject to interpretation. And there are millions of interpretations that we can draw from every situation or every event of life. The onus rests on you and I to choose interpretations which honor, bless, and uplift you. And why is that important? Because all things work together for good. The translators add in there, because the Bible translators, they make a lot of cock-up of translations. In a bid to throw more light on particular text, they end up giving us their perspective rather than letting the text do what it's supposed to do, which is instruct. So the traditional King James will say, all things work together for good for them who will love the Lord, even they that are called according to his purpose. And then begin to get all these variations. So those who don't love the Lord, all things don't work together for them. And then there are people who are not called according to his purpose, but we in this house have learned that isn't it. Jesus makes us understand that the nature of the Father is that he causes his rain to fall and his sun to shine on both the godly and ungodly. I was having a chat with someone earlier on today when I went for my walk before service, and she was telling me about rapture, and I'm like, you're having this conversation with the wrong person, because what are you going to hear me say you're not going to like? And I said, I'm not going to even take you far. Just look at what Paul says. Paul said right there, going by the literalness of the text, we shall all be changed in a twinkle of an eye, if that is what you want to say. So tell me, how are you going to separate? What criteria are you going to separate someone from all? And then we have a grammar problem where theologians begin to confuse themselves and now try to import context which doesn't fit. The bottom line is, God is having expression as man. The Word became flesh, dwelling amongst us, and we behold his glory, the glory as of the beloved or the begotten of the Father, full of grace, full of truth. And that is who you are. And as you are, you have made me here on earth. And that's nothing greater than you. That's why I love you more and more. He's written a beautiful song, then she's posted, I want more of you. What, Samuel? You know? He sing like Kutubini's, it was called Kutubini's song, white and then small black. Day the back way, he spoiled the whole show. A little yeast destroys the dough. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about. And I don't know, let me see. Are we going to be able to think we'll wrap the principle of well-being up next week. We wrap the principle of the well-being up next week, and we will start principle 3, or we introduce principle 3. That's the principle of community building, which states that release yourself from the need to be understood. One of my favorites, I love it. It's blessed me. I don't can be now.
No, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, because when it really blessed me, because that was one of my challenges. That was one of my biggest challenges. I've been so consumed with wanting to be understood. Mm-hmm. And I think the universe was calling me to it. But I was having challenges with letting go of it. And when this hit me, all of a sudden, the penny just dropped. You see, it's okay to be misunderstood. It's perfectly fine. And the reason is this: you won't at every point get everyone to be on your page. See? So it's okay. It's perfectly fine. And it makes life easy. I mean, for me, I'm having the best life ever, in my opinion. So I think we will do. We have the wrapping up tomorrow. So yeah, and I chipped in the fact that two people can experience the same event, and their interpretations will be totally different. What would you say accounts primarily for the varied interpretations or the varied perspectives that we bring to circumstances and events? What are some of the things which inform perspective building? What makes two people view the same circumstance and interpret it totally different? What makes someone who is being raped or who has been raped get so bitter, get wanting to seek and have vengeance or have justice on the assailant, as opposed to another who looks at the same person and have the understanding that, you know what, anyone who commits such an act is needing treatment and is mentally imbalanced, but yet it doesn't affect their God identity. They are just ill and needing healing, and seeing that person as a child of God. What forms the basis of the interpretations we bring to event? Let's discuss that for a bit.
I think you just raised one point there, because it's mostly where you are in consciousness or your awareness to life, basically. Yeah, because I'll start with myself. I'll take myself as an example. The things that probably I know now, and how I do things, and then how I respond to certain situations, is different from how I used to respond to the same situation. Situations haven't changed, but how I respond to them have changed because of my awareness, because of where I am now in life, because I've come to understand certain things. Rightly, as you said, that for this person, he's good. He's just like me, but it's really limited in that sense. His awareness in that area is a bit short, and he needs uplifting. Rather than him coming to me to apologize, I need to go to him to uplift him. So that's how I see things now. I think it's also due to our probably our environment and how we were brought up. Cultural background would also contribute to how people interpret situations. Because obviously, where I come from, I come from Ghana, a particular area in Ghana. Yeah, this is how we do things. If somebody does something, this is what it means, and this is how I react. It might or might not be the same way that somebody elsewhere will react or respond to the same situation. So cultural background is part of it. Yeah. So basically, it's your awareness, and then ultimately how we are brought up in that sense. I don't know if I've made sense. Your volume is gone. We can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
I don't know what happened there, honestly. No, I was asking if Emma had anything to add.
Yeah, I do agree with what Mr. Charles was saying. And it's purely from us, how we see and view things. He talked about background and culture. I also see, in adding to that, you also see how you think, Obviously, the foundation is culture and background. But as we change, as we transform, we see things or hear things as to what we are looking at that moment, or what we are like, our inner perspective. Is boils purely down to inner perspective, because same thing, different people interpret it differently based on what they are looking at and how they see things. So I believe it's from within, not outside. Because I've also changed on how I respond to things because of the spiritual growth, the path in which, we're going. Prayer life, everything, like a whole life as a whole has changed. I wouldn't say I'll sit there and be praying for something. I do ask, but everything is there for you, available, or how you respond to people have changed just based on your thinking. And that comes from culture. Because now I would say my mind, because culture forms your mindset. So the path in which I'm now going has transformed, how I see things.
Okay. Beautiful. Is it possible to live? Can we live life without interpretations and expectation? Can we live life without interpretations and expectation?
I don't think we can live life. We're always interpreting everything, isn't it? Life is interpretation. You have to it's part of the brain function. You have to interpret things. You have to interpret light when you wake up in the morning. You wake up, it's morning. You interpret it as morning. You interpret that maybe it's time to go to work. You interpret it like it's time to go to bed. If you do that, then you'll be sent to the hospital for you to be checked.
Yeah, but I know some people who, when it's morning, they interpret morning as it's time to have sex.
Yes, that's also the way the person has interpreted. Yeah.
That interpretation, every now and then we interpret it.
or when the weather is cool,
yeah. So all of it is interpretation. So there's no way we cannot not interpret things.
Okay. I agree with what Sofmami said, and it just came to mind right as we speak right now. As we speak, Mr. Mary is online.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, Mr. Mary. God bless you. It's the same time. The time I'm sat here is the same time Mr. Mary is sat wherever she's sat. But she's interpreting her time as morning. I'm interpreting mine as afternoon. Because they say morning is my afternoon. But they say, if you look at it, they say it's the same, this particular moment, the same particular moment she sat down. So it's life, the whole of life is interpretation, perspective, and how you choose to live it. And I think it will make sense to what you read earlier on, because of what you said earlier on. So it's the same thing happening. There's nothing new under the sun. But some people are enjoying the moment or the happenings, whilst others are not enjoying, because of the only difference is the interpretation that you have put to it. How my life differs from yours is the interpretation we have put to the situations, the scenarios, the things that have happened to us. That is why it can have people go to the same school, put people into the same school, same classroom, do everything to whatever level that you want them to be. They will behave differently because of how they see things, because of how they interpret things. So I believe all of life is perspective, is interpretation. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, if you've joined us, welcome. And rightly so. I know I obviously I'd already stated that fact, but I asked for one reason and one reason alone, that I've come across circumstances where, you see something in a particular way, and you are bent on making everyone else around you see it the same way.
Before you continue, I saw this on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know if I think it was only me about Rihanna, the musician Rihanna and the husband or boyfriend. They were doing their baby's second 1 year or 2 years birthday in all pink. Everything was pink, and I went to the comment to check, and people were furious about somebody's party that they're doing. Why boy? Why doing pink? Why that? And I was just saying to myself, so who at all brought the idea of pink is for ladies or pink is for women? Who came up with that notion? Who sat down to say that, okay, let's pink be for only women? So a man, you can't use pink, or the moment you use pink, you are seen as a woman or you are seen as a female.
I love pink and purple.
Somebody sat somewhere doing birthday party for the son. It's not your money, decide to use pink. And the whole world is furious because it's a boy and he's using pink. Who interpreted pink to be a woman's color? It's perspective. Somebody said, okay, I love pink. My perspective.
That's culture.
Let pink be for women. And then everybody has joined the boat, and then everybody saying pink is for women. So even if a man, the moment you wear pink, hey, now you're bad, you want a pink. So it's perspective. Go on.
Thank you. It's it's an interesting one. I think when you started, you made a statement about we being fruitful, multiplying. I believe I've said it here before that I'm one of those who believe that mandate is no longer a necessity. In that, looking at nothing against having children or anything like that, but I believe that if there is one thing that I would desire, or I desire mostly out of life now, as it plays within the remits of truthfulness, it is unionizing with people or with persons who are resonating on the same mindset, so that we can birth movement, so that we can birth products of our brain, so that we can birth ideas, we can birth concepts that are for the evolutionary good of humanity, as opposed to just making children.
Are you saying that because you've already had your four?
No, that's what I was saying that to someone, and they said the same thing. Oh, they were wearing two can they? No, it is not about that. It's.
I need one more. I need one more to get to four. Let me get to four, and then
it's fine. But I'm only saying it's just where my reality is now. Okay.
You're not lying. This exactly as I was saying. It's because of where we come from. Be fruitful, subdue, multiply. Is subjected to only having sex and then giving birth. That's why we are not able to explore. We're not able to do any other thing. We're not able to do the things that we see people doing, going to the moon, inventing things. How many things have we seen, quote unquote? I might be wrong. People from where we come from, I don't want to use the term Africa. People from where I grew up from, inventing or doing that is blowing the minds of people in the world. No.
Kebasho.
You see all the things that if you go to Ghana now, all the things that we are inventing, coming up with is how to have sex, medicines to drink, ginseng wines to drink, and then alcohol to drink for season birthday. That is the things that we are. So because the focus is to what's up one, you see, and that is the limitation. That's how much we've limited the mandate. And so you are right with what you just said. The mandate is no more. If you say that, I agree with you. Not because when you're for a week. But if I had understood this even before my trade, maybe I wouldn't have waste my energy. But go on, say.
But the only reason why you are saying you wouldn't have wasted your energy is because I call it. Anyway, so the issue is not really with interpretation or expectations per se, but as I said, choosing interpretation or expectations which honor you, choosing perspectives which enhance your being as opposed to what deflates your being. And when we are responsible for I shared this in my last but two shorts. I mean, was it a reel or TikTok videos I'd done? Saying that we must be responsible for the feelings that our interpretations or our expectations bring us. And why is that? In that when we take responsibility for the feelings of our expectations, that is the only time we will be able to be in charge of our responses to life in a manner that brings us inner peace. Choosing our vibrations rather than letting circumstances dictate our vibe. When I was having the conversation with our sister earlier on this morning, I told her that we were talking in line with what we were discussing anyway. And I said that what we think, how we feel about what we think, and the manifested reality that accompanies it are always merged in vibration. And she was arguing, not arguing per se, but she just rebutted that. So every time you're telling us that, because I'm thinking negative occurrences, or I'm thinking negative thoughts, you always tell me think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts. So I'm thinking supposed negative thoughts. That's the reason why I'm getting the repetition of these things. And so why is it that when I'm thinking positive thoughts, I'm thinking about money and the money is not coming? And I'm saying it's not just about you thinking about. You might have the thought on your mind, but if the feeling is not matched, it won't match the manifestation of that reality. So thought, feel, make real. And how is this important to well-being? Assuming if we were thinking, assuming each and every time you think of something, in quotes, negative, a brick falls from the sky and hits your head. Assuming. How would that feel like? Do you think it would bring you to the place of choosing thoughts and interpretations which honor and blesses you? Do you think it will? It would. Like assuming if your supposed undesirable thoughts had immediate outcomes or immediate reactions, do you think it will probably help you align in the way you think and feel?
Yeah, of course it will do.
So why is the universe? Why is the universe not like that? Why do we not get instant outcomes of our supposed negative thought?
From the little I know, I don't know if it's absolutely right, is the positive thoughts are much more stronger than the negative one. There was an experiment that was done a few years ago that I was actually watching on YouTube. It was about our thoughts and vibrations, and they did experiments. I think they used a distance for it, and the positive thought like had a longer distance than the shorter than the negative one. The negative one had a shorter wavelength than the positive one. The positive one was further. So positive goes further up, in doing things than negative. Negative, even though it weighs on the person, it stays around you, it stays on the individual, but it doesn't go forth quickly to bring back what you sent. So that's one of the reasons, I think.
Okay. Any thoughts? Or Marie, if you're still there, any thoughts? Because
no, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. While I was talking of it, then I thought of this. You see where the story is shared of the words spoken to the fig tree, that no one will eat fruit of you, da 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 da. Instantly, nothing happened. Yeah, it tells me something. Okay, and I'm just drawing out what I have also picked up and what I've observed as well. And nothing happened. But on the next day, he says when they were passing, they saw that the tree had withered from the roots. Emphasis from the root. This divine design, this universe, its intent is correction. Do we agree? Its intent is creativity. Its intent is expansion. Its intent is extension. Its intent is synchronicity. Its intent is flow. So because that is what is the program, whenever outcomes that are similar, or whenever there are outcomes that are seemingly, in quotes, undesired, are set in motion, the scope is provided for there to be a correction. I believe it was Joseph Murphy who said this. I heard him say this and I picked up on it. That every thought is creative unless it's acted upon, or unless it's acted upon by a counter thought of greater intensity. So he made a pronouncement, he sent the thought, he sent the idea, he sent out the energy, and no result could be seen instantly. But then, what has already happened is that vibration was just seeking alignment with a desired manifestation. And when it's left fallow, then obviously, as he says, death, life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. The seed is sown, the fruit just follows. But that's one reason. In that it doesn't happen instantly. Because the intent of the universe is not to punish. The intent of the universe is not to be retributive. The intent of the universe is not to create discomfort or to offer discomfort. But in the same way, on the same thread, because we are co-creators with this divine infinite intelligence, we partner in the Lord, being the messengers of creation, confirm their words or our word our thought with signs following. The Lord also working with them, confirming their word with the manifestations thereof. That's why you don't see it instantly. But I believe that as people who are given to what the principle of well-being teaches me, for instance, is to begin to identify what the purpose of my thoughts are, what the purpose of the accompanying feelings are. Because his word doesn't go out void, it doesn't return void until it has prospered in that which is desired. What is the purpose of this feeling that is accompanying this thought I'm thinking? It's not just pushing away a feeling or wishing a feeling away, but inquiring. Why is it? To what intent? To what purpose? What is it for? I'm one of those who accept that you can tell by how you feel. You can tell by how you feel whether or not you are moving towards what you want or moving away from. Our feelings are indicators to whether or not we are moving towards our desired outcomes or we are moving away from it. And the challenge for many is that we struggle to make peace with where we are. We struggle to make peace with life, with how life is presenting, and end up piercing ourselves with much sorrow. And I always say, one thing that I learned from Michael Singer, which has become one of my core beliefs now, is that our condemnation of how life is presenting per time grounds us to the very situations we try to avoid or we try to prevent. Do you agree? You can't hold someone off without staying with him. Can you?
No.
It's impossible to hold someone off without being where they are. You can't hold someone off from afar. Does it then surprise you why the things that you try to prevent keeps coming? It's impossible to hold the door. Oh, hold on a second. Bear with me. Where's my video going? Okay. Can you enjoy your space? Okay, can you enjoy the space you have created when you are stood at the door trying to stop the door from opening? Can you?
No.
You can't. That's why I say that you can't get anywhere in life by resisting the things you don't want. That's craziness. I welcome you to begin to see the best and make the best of every situation, because that is what moves you and I closer and gets us vibrationally aligned with the outcomes that we desire. Often in life, we demand that people change the way they are so that we can be happy. And I think that is madness. That is what makes you feel out of control. Because you're making your happiness contingent on people behaving behaving in a manner, or someone or a group of people behaving in a manner that pleases you. That is a life out of control. That is a loose cannon. I was saying this to someone earlier on in the week, and I'll touch on this next week. Just telling me how he misses the boyfriend and that she wants to be with him, And I'm like, look, if you are in any relationship that makes you feel that you want to be with the one that you are with all the time, that is unhealthy. That cannot be a healthy relationship. What if they don't want to be with you at the time? What if they want to do something else? That is unhealthy. That's bondage. And the truth is, think about this, okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. When people say that someone is being selfish, I've accepted that what in effect we are saying is that I want you to, basically, you are satisfying your selfishness rather than satisfying mine. If that's not the case, you will not say that someone is being selfish. We only say people are selfish because we are all selfish. But when someone is satisfying their hold on a second. Oh, yeah. So when someone is satisfying or appears to be satisfying, in quotes, their selfishness in a manner that doesn't satisfy yours per time, you call them selfish. Think about it. But I have also accepted that when you are aligned with the desire of the universe for you, concerning you, your world will be perfect in every way. The one who has embraced well-being, understanding that spirituality is well-being, always about well-being, and all of life is about well-being, is the same who has accepted that life is not one of competition. And whatever your desires are, the universe expands infinitely to accommodate it. Because if divine love intelligence hasn't made it available, the desire wouldn't drop in the first. The truth is, having what you desire doesn't in any way deprive another one of their own. Neither does someone having what they desire deprive you of your own. There's plenty to go around. That's why he will tell you, take no thought what you will eat, drink, where. Enough unto the morrow are the cares thereof. I think last year sometime I was listening to one of Abraham Hicks' videos, and she said something that I really loved. And it just, when I heard her say it just stayed in my mind. He says that no one goes about saying that I've been well to let me get sick so that someone else can have my share of wellness. We can all be well. I don't have to be sick so that you can get better, do I? I don't have to. It's absurd. We're talking about it like that. It's actually absurd for us to think of it this way. But when it comes to the petty things that we need, like money, and trivial things or material things. We think that because someone else has it, we can't have it. We think that someone else has it, it deprives us of it, whereas the collectors having it. So that's why we get people who are so naive saying that, let's take the rich people should be generous enough and share their wealth among the poor. And I can guarantee you, we can make that happen. And just give it a year, the money will still end back. It's still going to end back up in the hands of those who had it in the first place. Why? Because you are busily consumed with why are they having it and why I'm not having it. Where he is consumed with the thought that I can have it so much quicker than they can ever take away from me. It's the mindset of abundance versus the mindset of scarcity. And you cannot excel your self-belief. Whatever experiences you are having is as permitted by your image of your own self. That's the harsh truth. You're not enjoying your manifestations and it's taking your joy away. Change your self-portrait. Change how you see you. Change how you view yourself. Because all of life is indeed interpretation or subject to interpretation. And all of life is nothing but perspective. I'm done.
Bless you, sir. I think you have done justice to it in the sense that, you posed the question earlier on before you started. You've pulled the bits and balls from everywhere to make sense of the question you asked earlier on. I couldn't have put it any other way. Well understood. And indeed, it is true. As of my shared, and I equally shared as well. All of life is perspective. All of life is interpretation. The decisions you make. But mostly, like we were saying, sometimes we limit ourselves because of the understanding that we have. And we think that all of us cannot be at the same place together. I think that's the thought that we have. All of us cannot be rich. And mostly we use, I myself, I do that. It's because or being rich or having money, but I'm not used to having money because money is money. Money, you can see that is money. Being rich is only we've limited it to having physical money in that sense. So somebody might not have physical money, but have all the resources to make that money or have all the resources to be happy. But because at that particular time or at that particular point, person doesn't have the physical money, we limit ourselves to poverty and think we are poor. So we go by those sayings, all of us cannot make, all of us cannot be. This makes me understand, all of us can be happy. I think I'm starting to believe that all of us can be happy. All of us can be rich. All of us can be rich. There was a series they used to show on TV. I think it was Kumasi Nyonko or something. They used to say that Obisika should be able to. That it was a beautiful, beautiful series. Every day, some people will be able because they believe that my top money for the day is in your pocket. You also believe that your top money for the day is in somebody's pocket. Some way, somehow, at the end of the series, they all get money. I'll come to you, I'll boo you to get money. You also go somewhere, you boo the person to get money, and they all end up getting money, coming back to the same place. I strongly believe that. That all of us can be rich. Not necessarily having having the same amount or the same quantity of money, or amount of money. So say if you have £1 million, I shouldn't have £1 million. Someone shouldn't have £1 million. But I strongly believe that all of us can be rich, all of us can be happy. And it's all perspective. Because you might have something that to you is making you sad, it's making you feel like you are poor. Somebody might have the same thing, but to the person, wow, he's rich. It's making the person feel more happy. It's making the person feel more, like he's a rich person. It's all perspective. And so you're right. God bless you, Rev. Yeah.
I want to pray. I want you to just close your eyes if you can. And enjoy some deep breaths. Enjoy some deep breaths, even as at the same time you begin to feel and listen to the various sensations in your glorious body temple. And just relax. You're not trying to force anything. You're not trying to superimpose any expressions, create any impression. You just being. And offering no resistance to everything that is passing through. Taking note of the various sensations you're feeling. And as you breathe in, I want you to scan from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. And with your out breaths, I want you to scan from the sole of your feet to the crown of your head. I want you to do that deeply for 3 times. The door of your subconscious mind is open now, even as you do these scans. Which means if you begin to think about a new reality or experience for yourself, contemplating on a new way of being, and as you do so, what you're doing is building a new neurological process in your brain. That is giving you a shift in your perceptions. Begin to think of a change in yourself that you'd like to embrace. The you that is begging to find expression, that is seeking to emerge and evolve. A future reality you would like to experience, understanding that the future is now. The ordained goodness that awaits you in this quantum field. You're not forcing anything, the images are just popping up freely by themselves because you are attuned. You are ascending to a new level of mind. Just let this impression arise. And as it arises, I just want you to yield to the feeling or the emotion that accompanies this impression, even as it gets bolder and bolder. And as you're taking cognizance of this feeling, what you are doing in essence is you are teaching your body emotionally how this desired future looks like. You are rehearsing it before its manifestation. For the vision is for an appointed time. It shall speak and not lie. It does not delay. Allow yourself, permit yourself to feel this elevation in emotion, accompanied with immense gratitude, inspiration, joy, ecstasy, feeling of empowerment. Celebration of the supernatural, a celebration of what is unlimited. And your conscious mind is accepting this impression. It's believing it. That is living this future reality now, whatever it is. In this very moment. And as you so do, new signals are being activated in your brain, aligning with an activated gene. Allowing your body to feel its aliveness and its alertness in this expectation, without a feeling of being trapped or disempowered. This is your self-fulfilling prophecy. And you are changing. Everything about your being and about your essence is moving in consonance with this fulfillment of this image that you have impressed and accepted. in this new state of being. What you're doing, what you're thinking, the choices that you're making are in keeping and inconsistent with this desired outcome. And all your behavior, your attitudes, your action are in a lifetime consistency with this outcome. Remember this feeling. Remember it. Just give yourself the chance for your body to remember this feeling. How does it feel to wake up from this dream? And it's no longer a dream, it's your living and your embodying reality. You are accepting its expression now. You are accepting the new personality that accompanies this reality. And nothing is causing you to revert to the person that is not in keeping with this enhanced reality. You are awakened in gratitude, no complaining, no blaming, no accusations, no talking poorly about yourself, someone, or something else. And you are free from all the emotions that hold you to your old self. Self that's no longer in keeping with this heightened reality. I want you to take your left hand, touch your left nostril, the right hand, touch your right nostril. Feel the difference in sensations in both touches. And return back to your body. Even as you wake, as someone who is living your desired fulfillment. And so shall it be. And so it is. Amen. Courage to bless us. Those who slept, wake up. Wakey, wakey.
I know one person.
Shalom and life to us. Be back on the line tomorrow morning for Impact Dawn. Those of you who have not been coming. And those of you who have, bless you. In the same line next week, as we wrap up the principle of well-being and commence the principle of community. Giving up on our need to be understood. Shalom and life to us. Bye-bye.
Bye.